What's up, YouTube? How you doing? So I got asked comparing the careers of Paul Gasol and Kevin McHale. It was kind of interesting when I did a lookup because Gasol played about 5 more seasons and probably about 250 more games than McHale, but statistically speaking, it ain't a lot of difference. Now, Gasol helped lead the Lakers to 3 straight finals appearances and they won 2 rings with Kobe Bryant. But Kevin McHale was an integral part with the Boston Celtics, originally starting as a sixth man, then becoming a part of the greatest, arguably the greatest front court in NBA history with him, Robert Parrish, and Larry Bird. So who do I think had the better career? This is interesting because the eyeball test, I think, is going to loan myself to saying McHale because Gasol became a very good player. But it's something about his game. I never quite looked at it quite like I looked at McHale. I thought Kevin McHale had more moves in the low post. I thought he was a defensive presence. And I think that he was kind of underrated with an all-around game, even though Gasol's got some better numbers. But they're close when you look at the postseason and what have you. It's pretty close. It's interesting when you look at this. Sometimes your debates and your arguments are more on the eyeball than the stats. Some of the stats will loan themselves to Gasol, but I got to remember he played 5 more years. And also, he had, as he went on from Memphis to Lakers, then he spent time with the Bulls and the Spurs. So, looking at his career, where is my window? Their best seasons, if I was comparing them, McHale's got the edge. Logic for me would loan me to McHale. McHale was one of my favorite players ever. And I do recall Charles Barkley once saying that he was the best player he ever played against because before power forwards became the hot and happening situation, before we got to Kevin Garnett and Karl Malone, and then you had Dirk and Tim Duncan and Bark, etc., there was Kevin McHale in the 80s as far as the low post. And I used to call him the human octopus because he could just rotate his hands and his arms and create so much spacing and so much divide. It was uncanny, it was unmatched. So it makes for an interesting discussion about who do you prefer? Who moves you more? The trajectory. Now, McHale's got 1 more ring than Paul, but I don't always go by the measurement of rings. I look at the totality of what they did. And Larry Bird once said that if McHale applies himself, he could be one of the best players in the league. And I felt that way too. I never felt that way about Pau Gasol. I liked his game, and I know he was huge for the Lakers, and he fit in with Phil Jackson's triangle Tex Winter's offense. But I never felt that he was one of the best per se. But in the really good, almost very good class. But Kevin McHale, his style, you could learn a lot about the subtleties and not so subtle that he did. He had that high clutch shot that he did, and he got so much out of what he did. I mean, I just thought that sometimes a cat you watch and he just moves you. So I think that's what it comes down to. And it's all based on, how they project, where they go, what they do. So I was moved more by what he did as a player. But Gasol did really good and, coming along with what he did. But it's just that Kevin McHale, there was something about the movement of the ball and the ability to create. But I think it's a good debate, though. I think they make up for a good debate. And I'm glad to get that question because it made me think. And then when I looked at the stats and everything, I thought, wow, it's close, but it's different. It's different. But anyway, let me know what you think. Kevin McHale versus Paul Gasol. Who do you think had the better NBA career in their position? Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share if you like and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. What I do sometimes, I take 2 different positions. I look at what they did, and then in my mind, I compose that. And then that's how I come to my conclusions because you can take almost any era of 2 different players. Think about their competition. Think about their impact. Think about what they did. You'd be surprised what you come up with. All right, I'm out. Peace.